I lost the very thing that my complete business hinges on. My ability to talk and give talks, my ability to make videos and talk with you. I lost my voice. Maybe you can hear it even now, it's a little bit raspy, but my voice was completely gone because I got sick. And it made me think about something. When your entire business rests on your ability to use this science at its highest peak performance, what do you do in the moments where you lose access to it? Not only is somebody who is different probably going to tell you, oh, well, you probably need a contingency plan. Smart. But what does a contingency plan actually mean? I want you right now to write down all of the places where your voice and your ability to wield this science that's not just a nice to have soft skill, but something tangible that makes a difference to your bottom line and the health of your business. I want you to write down right now, where are all the places where you're using this? Is it speaking to investors? Is it maybe hopping on sales calls with potential clients? Is it doing videos like these? Wherever it is where your voice matters and how you say things matters, and also how you communicate with conviction and with a strong voice, right? Because I could talk, but my voice was like teeny tiny, like this small. Write all of those places down and then start not only documenting, here's the exact script of the things that I say and how those things have to be communicated over and over again in those places, but I also want you to start thinking about, if you had to replace yourself tomorrow and somebody else were to step in on your team and say those things, how would you do it in a way where trust was not lost, okay? So that the business can keep humming along whether or not you lose your voice, so that you're not wondering, oh my God, how are we going to keep our sales calls going because I've lost my voice. Document that right now. And maybe it looks for right now like just bullet points of, here's the places where my voice really matters. Here's how my voice shows up in those spaces, right? And here's the trust that my voice wins that we need to bake into any plan that is about somebody else filling in or supporting me as I'm maybe knocked out and I'm not able to use my voice the way that I want to. This particular video is for you if you're the kind of person who likes to work ahead and have a plan, because let's be real, the way that we get around unexpected things is by having a plan. And I will say this, I was so humbled because I didn't have a plan for getting sick. I didn't expect to get sick. But now, girl, let me tell you, now I know that if this is the thing that is the highest leverage piece of science and asset in my business arsenal, I better protect it, number one. But girl, I better have a plan for what happens when the biggest asset is knocked out through no fault of our own. By the end of this episode, you're going to understand how to create that plan for yourself, and also what you need to bake in so that you don't lose trust with the people who rely on you for your voice and how you communicate effectively. So let me walk you back to a couple of weeks ago when I started to feel like this weird tickle in my throat, and I was like, that's interesting. My girlfriend's coming in tonight. We have all these amazing plans. But you know what? I'm just gonna sit tight, rest, and I'm pretty sure by the end of tomorrow, I will kick this thing in the butt. Girl. Not only the next day did I wake up feeling so much worse than I did the night before, this thing had teeth. It sunk into me, and I know you've been there. You initially think, oh, I know how to take care of this, just a little bit of ginger, a little bit of this and that, but it just got stronger and stronger and more vicious. And by the end, I wasn't even sure that the thing that was at me, at my throat, was even like the common flu. I was so confused. But one thing I was very clear about is how much of my business actually lives here in my throat. There's so much of what I do as part of running this business that depends on me speaking live. And what my takeaway is here isn't just like, oh, you need to plan for rainy days, but I really started to understand that I need to approach the science of how I public speak, how I show up, right, and win trust through my voice. I need to treat that with the same science that I do anything else, with the same integrity and the same seriousness. So I want you to do the same thing. Write down, looking at your calendar, like pull out your actual work calendar and just make a list of all of the places where what you're actually doing requires you speaking live. It could be something like you're presenting to your board, right? And you're meeting with them quarterly, and that's happening in the next 2 weeks. It could be something like you are communicating with your clients. My coaching, when I'm speaking and supporting women in how they communicate, we do that live over Zoom. Guess what that requires? Me being able to access my voice box. Whatever it is that you have coming up in the next 2 weeks, I actually want you to document it on a piece of paper and write all the places where you actually have to open your mouth and speak live for the thing to happen. And then what I need you to do next is think about this. What would you do if you woke up and on that specific day, especially the thing that is highest stakes, what would you do if you woke up and you couldn't talk? You completely lost the asset that allows you to be able to deliver on that day. Whatever it is that you're not able to do by talking, I want you to write down what is an alternative way of you communicating. Because let's be clear, this is one of the things that's a big takeaway. Yes, speaking and public speaking is extremely effective, right? For us, especially as human beings, to get our point across. But I will tell you this, I am a writer. I'm trained as a writer. That is not the only way that we can effectively communicate. Matter of fact, some of the most beautiful ways that people lean on how they get points across have nothing to do with opening their mouth. So I want you to catalog for yourself, if you couldn't open your mouth on that day, what are some of the ways that you could communicate that do not rely on your voice box? And then I want you to start thinking about, okay, well, are you really skilled at those different ways of communicating? It could be writing. It could be something that you've communicated ahead of time, so either your assistant or somebody else on the team takes over. What I want you to start thinking about is, how are you a full suite of communication, and how do you think about your thought leadership beyond just opening your mouth? And by the way, not for nothing, a lot of the clients that I work with, once we get into the gnarly bits of how do they communicate their expertise, it's not just getting up on stages and talking. It's definitely not just getting on panels and talking. And it's not just, public speaking happens in so many different ways. It's also writing an op-ed. It's also being ready for the rainy day by communicating ahead of time with your team so they can actually build the trust that you need when you need to step away. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because that's going to be the difference between, oh my God, my voice is gone today, and we have a plan and we're going to execute that plan and not lose trust. Something else that happened last week that was such a godsend is I actually had a bank of content for YouTube that was just waiting for me, right? That I had recorded beforehand. And so when you have assets that can speak without you opening your mouth, it allows you to take that day off for whatever reason, for things that you can't control that are outside of yourself, and be able to open your mouth and speak without you literally having to come on live and do it. I want you to think about how can you replicate that in your business, in your work, in all different kinds of facets. Maybe it looks like recording a webinar ahead of time, so everything doesn't come down to you having to do it live. And this works as well with things like sales calls. Maybe you can record a webinar that walks prospective clients through all of their potential objectives and all of the things that you usually say on a discovery call or a sales call, so that that's sitting and waiting for you, and it's not something that you can only do live. Maybe it looks like preparing right now the words, the script that somebody else can take from you. Maybe it looks like writing an op-ed, something that lives outside of you. And again, and I'm being repetitive here, but it's on purpose. I want you to understand that your thought leadership and your intellectual property really needs to live outside of you being the person who has to deliver things live. And I love public speaking all day, but when I got that scare and I almost lost my voice, of course it underscored the importance of all the ways that I can communicate outside of opening my mouth. I just want you to have those tools as well. I routinely encourage my clients when we're working together to think about the ways that they're able to communicate that are 360. Because here's another thing, people don't only understand information one way, right? And we want to hit people up about your expertise or the thing that you are informing them about and communicating with them about. We want to communicate in the way that they are best suited to hear it. Some people need to sit with what you are saying in written page alone and really ponder it. Some people want to hear it live. Some people want to play it back the way that you can right now through this video. Some other people want to interact with it in a podcast form. So think about that and think about all of the ways that you can communicate your message where it doesn't require you to be live and it's not necessarily dictated by the health of your throat and your ability to open your mouth and speak. Going back to what I shared at the top of this video, your voice is a product, and understanding how to utilize this product, that is the science, right? And that is like something that's kind of exciting. The more you can understand how this product lives outside of you and how to hone that product through the science of communication, the more your business can run without you necessarily always having to be the person that steps in, especially live, and definitely not on the moments where you're sick or vulnerable or life just, girl, let's be real, like life is gonna life. So how do we prepare for those moments? I want you to let me know in comments if this was useful. Have you been knocked off where speaking live was not something that you could rely on? And in those moments, what did you discover about yourself? What did you discover about yourself as a communicator that was like, oh, I'm actually a really amazing writer, or oh, I'm actually really good at training somebody else to be able to step in and communicate on my behalf in a way that I don't even know. I didn't even know that that was possible, right? And maybe losing your voice was a gift for you in that moment. Let me know in the comments. Also like and subscribe if this has been useful to you. I am Mahogodi. This is Madam Speaker Says. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you next time. Madam Speaker Says.